this is Tyler Skidmore with Fly Rock Chronicles and West Virginia Fly Guys and another episode of Fly Tying Fridays. Today we're going to be tying you a Flashabugger. I'm going to start by using a Yeti streamer hook here. It's a 1750 in size 8, as well as a 4.8 millimeter bead. My first step in this process is I'm going to wrap .015 lead-free wire onto my hook shank here with about 20 turns. When I've finished wrapping my lead wire, I'm going to butt it up against the eye of the hook and the bead. I'm going to make sure that it's nice and tight to the hook shank, and then I'm going to begin wrapping with my thread. My thread is gray 6/0 uni thread, and after I get it nice and tied down, I'm going to snip my tag in free. Now I'm just going to dress my fly body here in the shank of the hook. Make sure that my wire is nice and tied down pretty tight. Now that I've dressed my hook, I'm going to reach for the marabou and I'm going to grab one plume. This time I'm going to use bright blue, and I'm going to strip the webby fibers free from the stem, and I'm just going to use the good stuff at the head of it. Now you're going to see me measure it in at a hook shank's length and then tie it in at that point, and that's to give our tail the proper undulation in the water. Now after I do 4 turns or so, I'm going to take my marabou and I'm going to use my tying thread to engulf the hook shank in the marabou. Once I've tied in my marabou right behind the bead head, I'm going to snip it off with my scissors, and now I'm going to smooth out the fly body. Now that I've smoothed out my fly body, I'm going to go back to my original tie-in point with the marabou plume. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to grab some 5 to 7 inch strung Chinese hackle, and I'm going to strip the webby fibers free from the stem again. Now I'm going to take the tip of the feather and I'm going to pull all those fibers back, just exposing a little bit of the tip. I'm going to use that point to tie it in on the hook shank, and working my way up the hook and then back down, making sure that it's nice and tight in there. When you're finished cleaning up the fly body a little bit, we're going to reach for our gray medium chenille. I'm going to strip some of the fibers free from the end of it, and then I'm going to tie it in at that point. This helps to prevent getting bulk in the fly or in places where we don't necessarily want it. And after I have it tied in, I'm going to wrap all the way up to the bead head. Now with the chenille, I'm going to take close touching wraps all the way up to the bead and then tie it in at that point. Now that I have my chenille tied in, I'm going to take my feather and I'm going to situate it on the bottom of the hook here so it's out of my way. And I'm going to go grab some rainbow colored Flashabugger that I'm going to use to run up the sides of the fly and into the tail. I'm going to tie this Flashabugger in on the top of the hook, and then I'm going to take wraps to situate it on either side. Now that I've got my Flashabugger tied in, I'm going to take my feather, and this part gets pretty tricky. I'm going to take my feather, I'm going to pull the Flashabugger back down the side of the fly body, and I'm going to catch it right there at our tie-in point originally with the marabou plume. And I'm going to grab the other side of it, and I'm going to pull it back, the Flashabugger on the other side, and I'm going to do the same thing. Now I can start advancing my hackle with open spiral wraps all the way up to the bead head. Once I get my hackle to the bead head, I'm going to tie it off with a couple tight wraps. I'm going to reach for my tying scissors and I'm going to cut it free. Now we just have to do some aesthetic things to the fly here, and I'm going to go in, I'm going to reach for my hackle, I'm going to pull it back, and then I'm going to wrap behind it. You'll see I have a stray fiber there, that's fine, we can just cut it out or we can pull it back and continue to wrap over top of it. Now I've wet my hands a little bit and I'm just getting these fibers to lay the correct way. And I'm going to go in and then I'm going to snip my Flashabugger free at the length of the tail. Now I'm going to reach for my whip finish tool and I'm going to start whip finishing behind the bead head. I'm going to do 5 or 6 wraps here and then I'm going to cut my tying thread free. Now I'm going to reach for the loon hard head here and clear, and just to give our fly some longevity and make sure that that whip finish holds, we're going to just use a little bit here because a little goes a long way with it, and then our Flashabugger is finished. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, or go to westvirginiaflyguys.com for more. Thanks for watching.